So today we're going to be talking about nuclear energy and exactly what that means and kind of how it works. So just a little bit about nuclear energy. So nuclear energy is the most efficient source of energy by a lot. It's the most efficient and it produces the least pollution. It produces the least carbon emissions, and the fact that it doesn't. It does not produce carbon emissions. That's what makes it so different from our other sources of energy like coal or oil. And the reason that's important is because carbon emissions are the main cause of global warming. And as you can see by this graph, that it has an efficiency of 93.5% compared to second place, which is natural gas, with 56.8%. That's a pretty big jump, and that's why so many people are pushing to go nuclear. It also produces powerful radiation. That's a con to nuclear energy. It may not produce carbon emissions, but the radiation is very intense and very dangerous. The biggest example of this is in Chernobyl, and it basically destroyed an entire city by how strong this radiation is. It's very dangerous, very deadly as well. So these nuclear power plants need protections in case of nuclear fallout. How it's mined. So just like any other resource like coal, other rocks, other minerals, uranium-235 is the one that's mined. Uranium-235 is an isotope. So it's very rare and very radioactive. In fact, uranium-238 is the most common piece of uranium or type of uranium, with 99% of the total amount of uranium in the universe. Uranium-235 is so much rarer, and it is also very radioactive, very dangerous. And most of it actually comes from foreign countries. America does not mine a lot of uranium compared to other countries. Most of our uranium is imported. And after it's mined, it has to be processed. It can't just go into its raw ore form. It has to be processed like any other type of mineral. It goes into pellets, and the pellets go into fuel rods, as you see here. And these fuel rods are what actually creates the core of the power plants. We're going to see that in a second. But these rods get shipped in, and they're carefully placed into the power plant. Now inside the plant, this is a very basic scene, a very basic snapshot of what nuclear power is. This is the most common type of nuclear power, and it is essentially, in its most basic form, steam power. So first you see the containment area. This is the main reactor. This is where all the action happens. These lines right here, these are the fuel rods. These fuel rods go into water to cool them off because this radiation makes it so hot. But because a very hot object is going inside water, it produces a lot of steam. Now, nuclear power plants have to be built beside water, running water, to constantly cool it off. If it gets too hot, dangerous, and nuclear fallout can happen. It produces a large amount of steam that in turn spins a turbine and creates AC energy, alternating current energy. And it spins a generator producing this electricity. And of course, it gets sent to the power grid and into your house, creating a very efficient type of power.